So far this week it's been quite miserable. Those winds have returned once again and it keeps raining. And there was something happened weather-wise a few days ago that was completely unexpected. But sometimes you just can't call it. We're hoping for warmer, sunnier days going forward. We only get a short growing season in the UK, so we need to make as much use of the time that we've got as possible. So today's job is I'm going to set up some of those decking planters, the ones we're putting flowers in, and we're going to have 3 flowers in each one. So we're going to have a couple of plants either side the same and a different one in the middle. That'll give us a nice display of colour as we go through summer. So I'm going to grab a bag of compost, get these planters, and we'll get them set up, and then we'll take a quick look at the progress of these plants. One in particular is doing really well. Let's get these decking planters set up. I've decided to stand it inside this container, otherwise this is going to just keep trying to fall over. We always try and make jobs as easy as possible. So in goes the compost. Some of this compost has got some really big lumps in, but the majority is usually okay, so we'll stick with it for now. So the way I'm doing it is I'm just levelling it off. I'm not compressing it down because we do need to get those plants in. So to start with, I'm going to take this one out just because it's got a flower already. We've got all those roots at the bottom all tangled up, so we need to sort that out for definite. So just quickly rough them up like that and then pop in your plant. So I'm just going to make a nice deep hole. I'm only burying this to the same depth it came out of that container, and then I'm just going to backfill a little bit just where it's a bit lower, and then just even that out a little bit. And that's your first plant in. Next we've got these marigolds. And again, lots and lots of roots, so just rough those up, help these plants get on the way. And I'm going to turn this, because if I put it in that way it don't look as good as that, so I'm going to put it in, it's a strange angle if you like, because I want them like that. So again, we've pushed it in, we're slightly backfilling as well. It's a really quick and easy job to do. And if you look at price of some of these pre-made hanging baskets and planters in shops, it's well worth your while to buy your own plants and do this yourself. So next up, another petunia, same story along that bottom. Let's rough that up. No flowers on this one, but you can see that they're definitely on the way. So a nice deep hole, we'll firm that in. And that's his last one in there. And an handful of compost once again, just to top it up on those lower sides. And that is one of your planters already made up, and this is going to fill with flower. Let's go and put this in position and I'll show you what else I've been doing earlier on today. So if we look at that decking now, you can see I've been doing a few more earlier on today, and I want a row all the way across the full length of this decking. It's going to be effective when these plants start to grow on a bit. And that's another one that's already got a flower on it. So now we'll just pop this one on. And I think those are very effective. I need one for that far end in centre as well. One more for the end, and then another for that far side. But we're also going to be adding more flowers as we go through summer, by which time these should have filled out quite a bit. I'll just give you a quick look at those peas that we planted not too long ago. You probably remember we put them on this decking, but those plants were starting to fall forward because they've got no support. So what we've done, if you can see that, try and focus that a bit better, we've put a net across the back of this planter, so now those peas are quite easily grabbing hold, and we've got lots and lots in flower already. But something else I did is, because I know these are well on the way and they won't last all summer, I sprinkled a few extra seeds in the bottom of this planter, and they've germinated already. So as this plant starts to die back, we've got another set on way, and that's the second planter. Same story with that one as well. Lots and lots of flowers. We've definitely got peas on way, and again that second row of sowing in the bottom there, and that netting to help support them, and I think they both were quite effective. Just a quick look at the progress of this vegetable planter. Doing really well. That raspberry bush has put on even more growth now. I haven't yet planted those French beans because of those winds that keep coming back and ruining everything. So I thought just for now we'll leave them in there until it calms down a little bit, because over the last few days those winds came back once again and they've caused quite a bit of damage to us climbing pole beans. They're not looking very good at all, but fingers crossed they might just get a second lease of life and pull through. If not, we'll just sow some more. So now just a quick update on the plants that we've got going on. These are those Atlantic giant pumpkins. We sowed a couple of pots of them and they have germinated. This one is even better. That's well on its way. So we've got a couple of giant pumpkin plants to have a go with this year and see if we get anything. Meanwhile, I have picked up another tomato plant, and again it's a dwarf variety, and this one is called Honeycomb F1. It's a nice little plant, and I'm going to be moving that on into a bigger container very soon. I think these are like an orangey coloured tomato, but if I'm wrong, let me know in comments. And then we've got this mini petita. That is a cucumber plant, and look how much that has grown. It's amazing. I've noticed that since we put it in this 2-litre pot, it just got a spurt of growth on, and I can see it's putting little side shoots out already. And at the bottom, don't want to tip it out, at the bottom, if you can see that, there's roots trying to get out already. So this is at the point now where it needs to go in something bigger. So because I don't like disturbing certain plants too much, this will go straight into its container that it's going to be staying in all season. But we'll wait a little bit longer before we do that, because the temperatures are a bit strange and the wind is basically unforgiving in this area. So we're going to give that a couple more weeks. I noticed that next week we've got a run of full sun and also up to 25 degrees. So that is going to be a perfect time for us to start planting more and more flowers and sowing more seeds, which is exactly what we're going to be doing. So for now, these can go back in propagator. We'll get these plants as big as we can, and hopefully by the time we reach the end of May, we'll be in a position where we can just plant everything out and not have to worry. Because one thing I didn't expect a couple of days ago was hailstones. We did this last year. We planted out all as French beans, and then we got hailstones and they just battered every leaf. We was just left with stems sticking up, so we had to start those all over again. But hopefully these ones that's got the second dose of windburn will pull through. Anyway, I hope your plants are doing alright in this very uncertain weather, and if you want to see what else we're going to be sowing, growing and planting on that decking as we go towards the end of May, then please hit that subscribe button, press that notifications bell, and I'll see you very soon. Take care.